Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is the weekly energy card reading, and what that is a reading I hold once every week on Saturday that will let you, the viewer, choose from 1 of 3 tarot decks. And from that tarot deck, I will go ahead and do a spread to see what the next 7 days energies will be like. It is just a general reading, so and it is what we call what we readers call a universal reading, which means that if it doesn't have to be the second week of February 2020 in order for the messages to resonate. If you come across this reading at another time and you're drawn to the decks, there might be a message contained in the reading, and by all means, it is good at any time. Now, if you want to jump straight to your reading, the timestamps are always listed in the description box below. And otherwise, I'm just going to get started with a few quick announcements. I am testing out, I've been trying out some different materials. I know normally the backdrop is a solid color. I'm hoping the pattern that I chose isn't too busy, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and try it out today just to see how it looks. Now, I went with 3 decks that we haven't used in a while. I went with my tried and true Morgan Greer and a lapis lazuli stone. For the middle, we have the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant, and paired with it, I have a bloodstone. And the third deck, I went with the Vice Versa Tarot, and I paired with it a Dalmatian Jasper. And again, all of the decks and descriptions, as well as the timestamps, are in the description box below. Because this week includes Valentine's Day, I wanted to do something kind of special. I am going to pull out a deck that I've never used on the channel before. I've owned this deck for a while now. It is a vintage deck. It is no longer in print, but it is the Romance Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Unfortunately, these are no longer being published, but I did get lucky and I purchased them before they had gone out of print. And what it is that they are just oracle cards that give general love messages. I've used them many times in private readings, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read your weekly energy, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw one card from that deck to see what kind of Valentine's Day you're going to have. So we'll go through the week's energy as normal, and then we'll go ahead and see what your Valentine's will look like. Now, again, you know, we always say in reading, take what resonates and leave the rest. If you feel like a message is not resonating, by all means, you could either pick another deck, or maybe there were no messages for you this week. You are welcome to check out any of the other weekly energy readings that I have posted. Also, I do ask that when you choose your deck, if you do not mind choosing from your intuition. There's many different ways that people will choose a deck. Sometimes you're drawn to the artwork or the stone. Other times, maybe the timestamp, maybe the number of the timestamp means something to you. Or there's, another way to do it is if you just kind of look at each deck and ask the question, what are my energies for the next week? And kind of see if you feel kind of that gut feeling like, yeah, that's my deck. The other thing about the weekly energy is that, I don't consider myself a oracle reader. I don't believe that I can predict the future. I just believe that the course of energy, the way that people feel, events that have led up to now can kind of give like a projection of where things might go, but you as the watcher always have free will. So nothing that the cards predict could ever be set in stone. Something could change, or an event could change to make the outcome different, but this is just a general overall energy to kind of see where it might go. So just take it in vain. If it doesn't resonate, by all means, you don't have to take the message. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to freeze frame the video. I give you about 10 seconds to decide. If you need more time than that, by all means, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and begin with deck number 1, the Morgan Greer Tarot. I really miss this deck. I've been playing with new decks, and so I haven't had a chance to go back to my tried and true. This is the deck that I officially learned tarot on. So deck number 1, what is your week for February 9th through to the 16th? Is that right? Yep. What is deck number 1's week? Okay, this is sticking out. Okay, deck number 1. Got 3 cards there. And then oh, that popped. Oh, wow. The end of your week is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and see what is deck number 1's, what is the energy for deck number 1's Valentine's Day. Okay. Thank you. All right, we're definitely getting a story. Okay. So by the beginning of the week, you guys got the Queen of Cups. So in the beginning of the week, you're going to be feeling very nurturing. You're going to feel like you're going to kind of start off the week in a real emotionally mature kind of sense. The Queen of Cups is really the sweetest feminine. You can be a masculine, you can be a man watching this video and still get the Queen of Cups card. It just means that you're very nurturing in an emotional way. It's almost as if, you're very understanding. You could be listening to people. Maybe you call up your friends and really have a good heart-to-heart talk. Or, something in the beginning of the week is just putting you in a real mature, nurturing energy. So, by the beginning of the week, you're going to be really either taking care of other people emotionally or just in a really good place with yourself emotionally. So you're going to start off the week feeling pretty good. It's, if anything, maybe you're doing things to help other people. And I really kind of get the feeling like it's more of a listening thing. Maybe somebody comes to you with a problem, or, maybe you call up your family member or friend, but you're just going to be that real shoulder to lean on emotionally at the beginning of the week. By the middle of the week, you got 3 cards all together. You got the Hermit, you got the 10 of Wands, and you got the 4 of Wands. So what this tells me is that, this tells me as if by the middle of the week, you're really going to be kind of going within. You're going to be seeing a situation from a new perspective. It's going to be a situation that really kind of has you a little bit exhausted. Maybe you have a lot of things going on by the middle of the week. Again, because, we do have Valentine's Day coming up, and, maybe between work and other obligations, you might be feeling as if you probably need to slow down a little bit. I really kind of get the vibe as if the universe is telling you that you might be taking on a little too much, and you might need to kind of, it's okay to not agree to so many events or so many activities. The 4 of Wands usually means kind of a milestone, but it can also mean some kind of celebration. It can mean attending something like a party or a wedding. I don't think that you'll actually have a wedding by the middle of the week, but I just think I think you have a lot of things going on that are really exciting. I'm almost getting a feeling as if you kind of don't want to say no to things. Like you got have you ever had those weeks where it's kind of feast or famine? You have one week where you have absolutely nothing going on, and then the next week you get 4 invitations for everything under the sun. I just kind of get the feeling as if you're getting a lot done. You're getting a lot done, and what you're doing is you are going within. I think you are taking a time to reflect, but I think with that reflection, you might be taking on a lot. Like, I just kind of, what I'm kind of getting what I'm feeling is because the Hermit is facing this way and then the Wands are facing that way. I think you're kind of pulled in 2 directions. I think it would be real beneficial if you had a few moments to really just kind of breathe, but you have so many obligations going on. All of it's going to make you very successful. Like, whatever you choose to do, if you if you agree to all of the obligations that you have, or if you take a time out, either way you're going to be successful. But what this is kind of telling me is that you might be kind of burning the candle at both ends by the middle of the week. I think that you're going to be participating with a lot of things outwardly or for other people, but you're also going to be taking some time out to meditate. And I just think that in taking care of yourself and in taking care of other people, you're going to feel a little bogged down. By the middle of the week, you're going to feel a little worn out. So I think it is encouraging you to slow down wherever you can. If you have a minute to kind of stop and do nothing, take advantage of that. And again, the fact that you've got the Queen of Cups and then in the middle of the week you got the Hermit, I really think that you're going to be handling everything in a very mature way, at least emotionally. But I definitely get the feeling like there's going to be a lot of irons in the fire. You're going to be accomplishing a lot, but you may want to slow down and take a break when you can. By the end of the week, you got the Two of Cups and you got the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a real kind of, I have a feeling, I'm getting this feeling that by the end of the week, and again, this would be right around the time of Valentine's Day, I have a feeling that you're going to have an encounter with somebody. I have a feeling that either if you are in a committed relationship or if you're in a committed relationship, your spouse or your lovey is going to be feeling is going to be in a little bit of a mood around Valentine's Day. What this is this is kind of the defense card. This is the card of kind of, again, being very, it's being worn out, but it's being on the defense. It's as if, I have a feeling that I'm getting this real strong vibe that either someone is going to be trying to make a connection with you, or you are going to be making a connection with someone else. And this is someone that you know very, very well. But the person, if you're approaching the other person, they're going to be guarded. If the person is approaching you, you are going to be guarded. But basically, there's kind of I'm really getting a vibe as if it's going to be you that's going to be the guarded party, because in the Two of Cups, you kind of see the man putting the cup out to the woman. She's kind of standing at a neutral stance, an equidistance, and he's the one who's kind of leaning forward. So it's possible that if you've been kind of single at this time, there might very well be somebody from your past or somebody that you've known well, maybe that you've gone out on a date with, that's going to be approaching you, but you are going to be a little bit wary or a little bit skeptical of the advance. I don't see them doing anything, nothing offensive, but I do think that this person might try to reach out to you and kind of make some kind of offer around Valentine's Day. The Two of Cups is a pretty big offer. It's not a page, so I think this person might ask you out to dinner, or just make some kind of overture that's very sweet. But you're definitely going to be a little bit guarded about the offer. In that circumstance, I definitely think that you should use your best judgment. You've got the Queen of Cups and you got the Hermit, and honestly, those two characters are probably the most emotionally and intellectually astute people. So I think if you had to make a judgment call as to whether or not you'd say yes to this person, or whether or not you would be receptive to their advance, you would know what to do. You would know what to do at the time. But I do get this feeling as if you're going to be a little bit guarded. And again, you can be a man watching this reading. It would be another party, someone other than yourself. Of course, it would be someone other than yourself. I'm sorry. There will be, just swap genders is what I'm saying. If you're a man watching this reading and it's a woman that approaches you, you would be a little bit guarded about what they're offering. Now, the Valentine's Day card that you got is you got release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. And so again, the fact that we have somebody here that's coming up with kind of a cup of love, and we have kind of a, you know, a little bit of a guarded stance, someone who's very on the defense. I have a feeling that it's, again, this is a very positive card. It's not saying that you can't be open to a reconciliation with someone, but what it's definitely telling you is it's just telling you release any energy that is negative regarding the situation. If somebody, you know, if you did have a breakup recently, and of course it's Valentine's Day, this could just be some emotions surrounding the situation. It might not even be an offer. It just might be, you know, you thinking about the other person and just being really kind of emotionally on the defense. And what this card is telling you is just, you know, don't let those, you know, I know it's more easier said than done, but don't let those emotions ruin your day. You know what I mean? You know, Valentine's Day, you can do a lot of different things. You don't have to be all hearts and flowers with your partner. You can spend time with your family. You can, you know, go for a walk in nature. You can buy yourself flowers. You can, you know, work on a craft that really brings you joy. You can enjoy the day in other ways without having to, you know, bring up any bad memories or, you know, stew in anything that might have kind of put you in that defensive energy in the past. But that is the energy for your week, pile one. I hope you definitely have a good week. I do see some wonderful energies, and with the Four of Wands, I really think that you'll be accomplishing a lot. So I definitely hope that you enjoy that. And you know, by the end of the week, you know, just stay in that same energy. I have a feeling you'll have plenty of things to do. So go ahead and just, you know, keep up that pace without burning yourself out, and you'll have a good week. All right, so deck number 2, the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. I really love this deck. So deck number 2, what is your week like? What energies can we expect or are probable? Thank you. We've got 2 here. Middle of the week, deck number 2. Wow, you guys got some powerful energies. All right, so deck number 2. What kind of Valentine's Day are you going to have? That came out really quick. These cards are popping out too. Oh, we're seeing the Hermit again, and so again, with every, I'm going to start doing it where with every read, if there's a common what I call a common denominator card, a card that has been showing up in every single reading, I'm going to note that in the description box and on the video. I think that might be kind of our collective energy. So, deck number 2, the beginning of the week, you got the Three of Swords and a card. This is actually a specialty card that's in this deck that's called Atonement. And I don't want you to be afraid. I know anytime we see the Three of Swords, it's like, whew, that's one of the cards that always makes everybody flinch. But we read the cards together, and there's no such thing as, there's no bad cards in tarot. And actually, in this combination, I'm seeing seeing this in a really good way. The Three of Swords does typically mean separation and sorrow. It means some kind of heartbreak that occurred. So by the beginning of the week, I am seeing that you are still going to be a little bit bruised possibly by some kind of emotional or relationship situation that might have occurred recently. But what's beautiful is that next to the Three of Swords, next to this, you got the card Atonement. And what you see is, you see a woman wearing a bright red dress, which is almost the same color as the heart, right? And she's feeding the ducks. And it looks like she's feeding the ducks, the food from this really elaborate meal, right? And you look at it, and they're actually all swans, right? And it's funny. I was watching a reading just this last week that actually told the story of the Swan Princess. But I think by the beginning of the week, I think that you are going to be receiving, the swords is communication, it's thoughts and communication. I really get the feeling that at the beginning of the week, you're going to be receiving some kind of an apology or some kind of small communication from a person that might have slighted you, someone who might have really caused you some pain. The Atonement card is a real powerful one. I believe that it's talking about making amends for this heartache. So if you have gone through some kind of and this doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship thing, but if someone has come through and really kind of if some kind of slight has happened, and I'm really getting a sense of distance, like maybe there was some kind of argument that you had with someone where you're really not speaking to this person, or it's put some kind of really, really kind of painful, uncomfortable distance between the two of you. This person is going to be coming forth at the beginning of the week and it's going to be in a verbal, communicative way. They're going to make some kind of amends. It could be apology. If it's not as strong as that, it might be just some kind of sign of peace. Like it might be a text message or some kind of note that just comes through and says, hey, can we talk about this? Or I'm really kind of getting like it might very well be a full-on apology. That would be really kind if it were. But it's definitely related to some kind of painful feelings that this person made you feel in the recent past. By the middle of the week, you got the Two of Wands, and this is a really neat depiction because you see they're using it as a what I forget the name of the tool that you use to chart distances, and you can see it's like maps of paper. So the Two of Wands is charting out your future. It's making a decision about what direction that you want to go in. And what's going to happen is by the middle of the week, you're going to have a choice between two paths. And you're going to be thinking, you're going to be really almost kind of in gridlock, trying to discern, what path you want to take. And I know that sounds like really heavy energy for just a weekly energy card reading. But what I'm seeing is just below the Two of Wands, we have the Moon. And we just held a tarot on the Moon this last week, if you get a chance to check that out, because the Moon is a powerful card. And it was really tough for me to choose which Moon cards I wanted, because this deck is also really lovely. If you get a chance to watch that video, we went in great depth about the difference between the wolf and the domesticated dog, and she has lilies and stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm gushing. But basically, by the middle of the week, you're going to be kind of put in a position where you're really going to be deciding which direction that you want to go and which direction is really going to make you happy. Now, the only thing about this decision is it's going to be a really hard one, and you're going to feel very, very lost. You're going to feel like kind of lost in your emotions and very kind of disoriented. You're not going to be sure which direction to go. Now, seeing this in the middle, this might be a result from this atonement, or what might have happened is by the beginning of the week, you might be going through something like a breakup. And by going through this breakup, you might be thinking about another party. I'm really getting a feeling like, because we're going from 3 to 2, and this is kind of a breakup card with an atonement. So I just really get this feeling as if either someone wants to make amends to you, or you want to make amends to someone else that you've really you might have hurt. And you might have hurt this person because you have a decision to make in your life. You're at a crossroads. You're making very, very big decisions about where your future might be going. And those decisions are leaving you in a real emotional, confused state. Because maybe you have something going on at work, or maybe you have something going on where you have kind of a choice of two paths. And the one thing about the Two of Wands is that one path is established. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, you see one of the rods is bolted to the wall, meaning that you've already kind of established, you already kind of had that experience. And then the other rod is in the person's hand, and he's holding a globe. So I really get this feeling as if you are torn between something that is an existing responsibility, or something that's an existing option, and looking at a path that would be new and different, but might offer you something extraordinary. And it could be related to work. I definitely see that it might be related to travel, like you might be able to travel. One of these paths might be asking you to move or travel, and you're just kind of really in gridlock as to what decision to make, because you don't want to hurt anybody, you don't want to leave anybody out in the cold, but you want to be happy, and you want to have new experiences in your life. That I think I'm really getting a strong vibe of half of this pull between the two choices is that one would offer you a kind of a sense of freedom and adventure, and it's something that you really want to do, but you're afraid or hesitant to leave the other option, or to make the choice. You're hesitant to make the choice. Now, underneath the moon, so what's describing is that, you have this choice to make. You're really kind of emotionally, what choice you should make has really got you churned up emotionally. Underneath it, you got the 10 of coins, and you got the 7 of swords. Now, the 10 of coins in this deck is really poignant because it has a picture of a family, like several generations. And you see coins, and you see time. And, also you do kind of see a snake, which, kind of means it, in this depiction, I kind of view it as being regeneration or health and healing. But here we've got the 7 of swords. And the 7 of swords is typically depicted as what we call the sneaky Pete card. It's the guy who is collecting all the swords. He's snuck in and taken the swords that he wants, and he's sneaking out with them, right? And the only person who's there to catch him is the cat, right? But you can see he's very stealth about it. And here I am getting a very strong vibe that you have a choice between something that the two choices that you have, and it might be, again, it might be a change of job, a change of residence. I'm really getting this vibe as if this choice, this decision that you were reluctant to make, has to do with family. It has to do with some kind of obligation to family. Like that might be one of the decisions. And I think you're really, what's got you so emotionally churned up, what has you feeling lost and feeling disturbed. Like, again, if you get a chance to watch the How to Tarot and the Moon, it really talks about that really well. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I thought the description of it turned out great. But the Moon is about those subconscious desires. It's about the things that you are you're hiding. It's the wants that you push down. And when you don't serve those wants or you don't acknowledge them, like if you keep going on doing your duty or doing, again, the domesticated dog is the face that we show civilized society. The wolf is what's inside of us that we want, the instinctual, bestial, base needs that if you ignore them, the moon comes out. It's like, you can't ignore it. And here I'm kind of seeing that it is kind of saying that there's maybe some kind of family obligation that you really, you are leaning towards the globe. You're leaning towards making the decision that would give you the freedom and give you the adventure and give you the new start and the new path. But there might be some kind of obligation here to family, and it's tearing you up because you don't want to evade or shirk any responsibilities to your family, but you do want this other choice. You want this other choice that would give you, a new path. It's almost as if you want to see where that other path would go, but you don't want to disappoint anyone. But it's really, there might be a little bit of guilt here. Maybe not intentionally, but I don't think a family member would intentionally try to pin you down if they knew that you had the opportunity to do something different that would make you happy. But here it is kind of, the other thing about the moon is that it does rule the feminine. So this could be a choice between a mother figure, someone who is a mother. You might be feeling like you feel like you're being deceptive because you're in your heart of hearts. You don't want to stay. You want to take the other path. But you almost feel like you have to keep that quiet, or you have to be clandestine about it. You have to be sneaky about it because you can't come out and tell your family, I don't want to take your choice. I want to take the other choice. Now, I know that seems really heavy, but by the end of the week, I'm seeing some really good energies, and I do feel for you because the moon energy is very churning. It's hard to manage. The biggest thing that you can do is really be honest with yourself about what you're feeling and what those subconscious desires are. That's the best way to manage the moon, because otherwise it will rear up. Now, by the end of the week, you got the Hierophant. So you got the Hierophant, and he looks very much like a pope, and this will include Valentine's Day as well. And underneath the Hierophant, you got the Magician, and you got the Hermit. So what I'm getting from this is, I think by the end of the week, you're going to be keeping up with the status quo. Like, you're not going to make the decision yet. Like, the jury's still out with this Two of Wands, but I think that you will feel a little bit clearer. Like, what you're going to do is by the end of the week, you're not going to jump into a decision before you're ready to make it. So you are just going to kind of keep up with the status quo. You're going to continue to do all of the same responsibilities. I'm kind of getting a feeling like you're doing two responsibilities until you decide to go solely with one or solely with the other. But you're going to kind of keep up with what you've been doing. You're going to please or appease both parties, just as you have been. But to help get through this clouded moon energy, while you're keeping up with the status quo, you are also going to be manifesting, and you're going to take some time out to really meditate. And honestly, that is a really good course of action. Because before you take any action that would make you the sneaky guy, go ahead and go within. Go ahead and go within, because honestly, the hermit is the best person to, the hermit energy is the best energy to get into if you are dealing with the moon. Because what the hermit tells you to do is the hermit tells you that there's no other information from the outside world that you need. Go up to the mountaintop and really just kind of stop and think and feel, and kind of figure out where all these desires are. Like, the hermit's going to get you to sit down and say, okay, what is it do I want? What do I want? What has occurred? What am I responsible for? He kind of gets you to look at the situation, and just kind of sum up everything that's going on, right? Let me look at both sides. What's going on with my family? What's going on with me? How did this Three of Swords occur? Who did I hurt? Who hurt me? And as you're kind of going within, you are going to start pulling together the resources that you need to make that you're going to be pulling together the resources that you need, so when you do make that decision, when you do go ahead and choose that path, you're going to be prepared to go. You'll be prepared to go. It's almost as if you're keeping up. You haven't made the decision yet, but you're really coming up on the fork in the road, and you're really almost ready to make that decision. And when you do make that decision, you're going to be very clear about it. You're going to have, combed over all of the details of it very, very thoroughly. And then you're just going to be ready to green light and go the moment that you say, okay, this is my path. And the other thing about it is that the magician will also, if the two choices involve people, you're going to be ready to communicate that very clearly without being sneaky, without having to go behind anybody's back. You're going to be communicating to the parties involved, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not choosing this path. I'm going the other direction. And you're not going to look back. You're gonna say, okay, I've made up my mind about this. I thought really long and hard. I figured out what I wanted. I figured out what my needs are, and I've looked at the situation with between you and the other parties, both parties, and you're going to go ahead and you're just going to go forth. You're going to go forth, and I really have a feeling that you're probably going to have a decision. Like, you're really probably going to have your mind made up. With that Hermit card, that is still kind of like the jury is out. I really kind of am getting more of the feeling like you're going to go within and you're going to start planning what you need to do. Like, it's almost like getting your mental ducks in a row. So when you do make that decision, it'll be, green light, go. But your Valentine's Day card, what kind of Valentine's Day you're going to have, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So, guys, I really like that card because I think it's very positive. All of these cards are pretty positive, but I do think that on Valentine's Day, maybe, again, I think that the beginning of the week and the middle of the week, there's quite a bit of pain here, a little bit of separation, and then by the middle of the week, there's a lot of emotional confusion. And I think that this is just the universe's way of saying, by the end of the week, you have all of the resources that you need. Try not to worry too much. You have all of the resources that you need to be successful. So, just take heart in that, The other thing that it's kind of saying is that the Hierophant is very much the spiritual teacher. So if you did go through any type of rough emotions, or maybe you have had some kind of, emotional turmoil with either your family relationships or with your interpersonal relationships, just I know it's, again, easier. It's such a trite thing to say, and I'm sorry. But there are lessons to be gleaned from that. And it's just kind of telling you that, whatever happened really did, make you stronger. It made you more spiritually enlightened. And, good things are on their way to you. You definitely, you have all of the materials that you need to be successful. So just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. You might still get, even if you have to choose a path that you thought was not the best one, keep an open mind, because maybe you'll really be surprised. Maybe the path that you chose, the one that you thought wasn't as glamorous, will really, bring you everything that you want. All right, so that was deck number 2. We'll go ahead and put your card on top. And let's go ahead and get to deck number 3. Oh, and gosh, guys, I do think that the Hierophant is probably our common denominator here, guys. Or was it the Hermit? Let me see here. I'm just going to look real quick, and we'll get back to the read. Oh, it's the Hermit. Okay. Well, we had the Hermit here, we had the Hermit and Hierophant here, and now we have the Hierophant here. So it's almost like a transition. Okay, so deck number 3. What is your week like? Deck number 3. What's your week going to be like? The star wants to pop out, but we'll see. If it wants to come out, it will. It always does. Deck number 3. Oh, thank you. Deck number 3. What's the middle of your week going to be like? Here, I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. It kind of tapped, but thank you. Okay, please clarify the 8 of Swords. Thank you. And then by the end of the week, what's the end of our week going to be like? What's the end of our week going to be like? We did get the Hierophant in reverse. Okay, please clarify the Hierophant in reverse. I'm going to go ahead and take these 3. It kind of flipped. All right, and then deck number 3. What is our Valentine's Day going to be like? What's our card for Valentine's Day? Okay. All right. So deck number 3. Wow, we got quite a week. By the beginning of the week, you're really going to be working hard. Here you got the 8 of Pentacles. I really get the feeling as if you're going to be kind of, well, the typical description is honing your craft, but I just really get the feeling that you're going to be kind of a busy bee. This person looks very preoccupied. You can see he's completely engrossed in perfecting the pentacles. So I think by the beginning of the week, you're really just going to have kind of like a full, roster, whether that be at work or, with home or family. I just think that you're going to be, preoccupied with, your job or your hobbies. I am also kind of getting a feeling as if you're kind of purposely keeping yourself kind of busy. It's almost as if you really want the time to go, like you want the time to pass without, maybe you have some kind of things on your mind, and, by being at work or being, engulfed in what you're doing, it doesn't give your mind time to really worry about other things. So I do feel like for the first the beginning of the week that you're really going to be in that energy. Okay, let me just, let me work hard, So that's what, that's how you're going to be beginning your week. It's just really jumping in. Now, by the middle of the week, you got the eight of swords, and then underneath it you got the 3 of pentacles and the Knight of Swords. So I did pull a clarifier. Okay, one moment. So the original card was the 8 of Swords, which is you can see it's that feeling of kind of feeling trapped. It's the woman who's tied up and surrounded by swords and blindfolded. Now the reverse, you can see that she, the reverse is this is the vice versa deck. So when you look at the back, the reversal is the card in reverse. But you can see that the ropes are not real tight, and she actually does have a sword there that she could cut herself loose. But the meaning of the 8 of Swords is that you're feeling kind of powerless. Either that, or you're really feeling kind of trapped in your thoughts. I am definitely getting this, and especially because these are both 8s. I think again, I'm getting a strong vibe as if you're kind of throwing yourself into work where you don't have to think about something. So maybe you have some stuff going on, either personally, where, work is a little bit of an escape. And by the middle of the week, maybe if work is slowing down, or I just really get the feeling as if, your thoughts are going to be kind of catching up with you, and you're just going to feel kind of trapped by your own thoughts. Now again, this is a card that states that you do have control, you have power, you just feel like you don't. And so by the middle of the week, I just really do think that your work, your thoughts are just kind of getting the better of you, and you just feel kind of stuck. Now, underneath it, you got the 3 of Pentacles, and you got the Knight of Swords. Now, the 3 of Pentacles is typically a work environment, or it is collaborating with other people. So here I'm definitely getting a vibe as if I'm really getting this feeling as if you really want to say something. It's almost like you're really desiring to have some kind of verbal, you're really juiced to say what's on your mind, or to have some type of communication. But I'm seeing the people in this card, and it looks like they're just, they're going about their work and not even really looking or speaking to one another. So this kind of tells me one of two things. This could be some kind of frustration with a work project. Maybe you have feedback that you really, want to give, or maybe you have a strong opinion about something that's going on at work, but then you feel like you can't say anything because you don't want to rock the boat, or you don't want to come across as brash, or, but you definitely feel kind of trapped, like you have all of these ideas, or you have all these thoughts, but that you really can't do anything about them, right? And you're probably just kind of feeling like, okay, let me just continue doing my thing. Let me just continue working and not saying anything. But I'm definitely getting kind of a bottled up energy. It's like every minute that passes that you say, okay, I'm just going to continue to do my work and not say what I'm thinking, not communicate, it's going to continue to bottle up. It's just going to make you feel even more trapped. Either that, or it could also be that there's possibly a coworker that you might have had some kind of verbal something verbal in the past, and you're kind of on your best behavior to not say anything or get into, it's kind of the Knight of Swords really likes to kind of pop off at the mouth. They'll really engage with you, and it almost feels like a little bit like an attack. You can see the sky's all gray and he's just charging in, right? So I just really do get this feeling as if, you're kind of putting on this quiet front, but inside you feel really stuck. And, on the outside, you're just going about your business, but underneath the surface, there's so much that you want to say, but you're kind of bottling it up. Now, by the end of the week, you got the Hierophant in reverse. And what that is that's a little bit of rebellion. The Hierophant in reverse usually means that you're going against, you're kind of going against the tide of expectation. Maybe, I am definitely kind of getting a feeling as if maybe, by the beginning of the week, I'm definitely seeing money, and I'm seeing kind of a work environment here. I think by the end of the week, you might actually be saying your piece, which is encouraged, because you definitely don't want to bottle up Knight of Swords energy. The only problem, well, not a problem, but the only word of caution is that he is a knight that's charging in, and knights are not kings. They're not always the most tempered with their words or their speech. So if by the end of the week you're getting the Hierophant in reverse, it just kind of, it does indicate that you might be kind of rebelling a little bit. And while, a little, expressing opinions that go against the norm is a good thing. That's how change occurs. That's how progress is made, is when people state what they believe. And the mixture of the old way of doing things and the new way of doing things usually brings great results. But the only danger is underneath the Hierophant, I'm seeing 3 other reversed cards. And that is the 7 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, and the 2 of Wands. And these are all in the reverse, which means it's a delayed or blocked energy. I really get the feeling that by the end of the week, I feel like I don't think that you'll say anything, I don't think that you're going to let the Knight of Swords out. If you do, you might have a few moments of being kind of blunt. So I would caution, to be careful with that. But by the end of the week, I think it's going to be, I'm really getting a sense that maybe you're going to keep all of this opinion to yourself, and it's just going to kind of bottle up a little bit. And by the end of the week, you will definitely feel like internally you just do not want to follow the rules anymore. I'm definitely getting that. By the end of the week, you're going to really want to not necessarily buck the system, but you're not going to want to, you're going to just kind of say like, okay, if I can't be myself in this environment, you really might want to rebel, or because what I'm kind of seeing is the 7 of Pentacles in reverse is someone who's evaluating how fast something's growing, and it's not growing fast enough. Like they're getting discouraged. This person's discouraged. His pentacles are not growing. He's not getting, sustenance from this tree. And you can kind of see he's got a shovel in hand, like maybe I should just, pull this tree up by the roots and, plant it somewhere else, right? And then in the middle card, you got the 3 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands is usually looking to the future. It's kind of it's a leadership position where you're looking out at the growth of something. But when it's in the reverse, it means that the delay is even more delayed. You're waiting for something to come in, and it's not coming in. And then the 2 of Wands is looking out and deciding a path to take, right? But again, when it's in the upright, it means that your wands are action. You're about to take that action. And here, the reverse means that it's blocked. So what this is telling me is that I really get the feeling as if something is not some kind of work or money related issue is not coming to fruition quick enough. Either that, or you have opinions about how this should be done, and you're either not being allowed to say those opinions, or you're afraid to say those opinions because you think it might get you into hot water. And then by the end of the week, you really just kind of feel like this is not going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere. I'm waiting for ships that aren't coming in. You can kind of see, normally he's looking out at an ocean, and here he's looking out at a desert. There's no ships coming in on that, right? And then it's that delay, this thing, this not coming through, and this situation making you wait is really delaying you. It's preventing you from going on making a choice as to your next move for your life. You're kind of deciding what path to go down, and this situation is holding up the show. And you're really getting frustrated with it. You're ready to just say, screw it. Why am I wasting all my time doing all this? Maybe I should, chunk it completely. Maybe I shouldn't, I don't think anybody's gonna quit their job or anything that extreme, but there's just some kind of project. I'm getting a feeling there's some kind of situation it's money related. It could very well be a partnership with someone. Maybe someone owes you money and they haven't, they keep promising that they're going to repay you. And then finally you're like, okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy, we either do this or, I'm going to completely, I'm not going to continue to invest in this if it's not starting to produce results, because I'm waiting for the results. I have a decision that's riding on these results coming through, and you're really chomping at the bit and it's not coming through, so it's making you feel rebellious. But definitely just kind of take that in stride by the end of the week. I'm not seeing any hermit in this, so I do think that you're going to be feeling, by the weekend, you're going to be feeling very restless, and it seems like it's revolving. It seems like it's definitely revolving some kind of money situation, because it's all pentacles and it's thoughts, literally thoughts surrounding your money. And then by the end of the week, it's action that's blocked because the money is not coming through. So, just I would, I won't give advice. That's not the purpose of this read, is not to give you any advice. But just know that by the end of the week, you might be feeling kind of frustrated. And, if you are feeling any type of energy that might be weighing you down, just know that you're going to have that kind of, mental. It's almost like you want to take action, and you're going to be a little pent up, voice wise. You're really going to probably want to tell somebody off. So just bear that in mind, and whoever it is, just, if it is a higher up, or if it's someone in, the other thing is the Hierophant usually rules social groups. So if it's, if it's a group that if it's a group of people that you have some kind of business with, can be a sports team, it can be something like that. Just, try to bear in mind, if you do, this situation is frustrating, but if you do have to speak to these persons in the future, or, try to be kind. It's completely okay for you to be frustrated, but try to be kind. Oh, I'm sorry for the sound quality, guys. Oh, I swear. Have you ever had it? I'm sorry, for all my ladies out there, you ever have like the 16-hour mascara, and it seems like the moment, with an egg timer, the moment 16 hours, it starts to melt into your eye? So I'm sorry, TMI, but oh, ow, God, it just, I should have washed my makeup off before I started this read, but, oh, and I'm winking at you. You can't see me, but I'm winking at you. Sorry. On that note, let's go ahead and get, what is your Valentine's Day card? And calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Wow, guys. So, you know what? Looking at this in a whole new light, I mean, I'm not getting a whole lot of relationship vibes. I'm not seeing any cups here. Although the Hierophant can rule marriage, usually it's someone who's thinking about marriage or thinking about commitment, which could play into this. Maybe you're really, by the end of the week, not ready to commit. Not ready to commit. But it does kind of tell me that just in regards to your Valentine's Day, if you are single, you might really be kind of meditating on the type of person that you want to bring into your life. If you are single and you have somebody in mind, this card might be kind of telling you that yes, this person, might be a soulmate for you, and go ahead and energy does follow thought. So, if you are praying or visualizing, creative visualization really does work. It's quite powerful. Of course, everyone has free will. And you doing you envisioning your future and the people that you want in your future, it's not doing anything adverse. It's not going to, affect the other person's free will, and definitely the universe will provide. But I do notice that I always think a really great visual affirmation for those single folks is just, if you imagine how you feel like with a person, like if you say, okay, I'm single, my ideal mate would make me feel like this, or maybe my ideal mate would bring me coffee in the morning and I'd feel so great and loved and cared for because they brought me coffee, something like that. So you don't necessarily have to put like a person in that dream. It can be very general and still work. But here I am kind of getting a vibe that you might actually have somebody in mind. You might have someone specifically in mind. And if you are not able to be with this person on Valentine's Day, just continue to do those really, and again, keep it real open, but keep it positive. Imagine how good you would feel. Imagine, how that person would treat you, and that energy is going to help bring you, bring the right person into your life. And definitely by the end of the week, try to take it easy, guys. It does look like it might be a little bit of a stressful end of the week, but again, like I told Pile 1, Valentine's Day doesn't always have to be about couples. You try to do something nice for yourself. Maybe have a singleton's Valentine's Day. Do something fun, or do a hobby, or do something that makes you happy. I guess treat yourself the way that you wish to be treated. Be your own Valentine. Take yourself out and then call yourself later and tell yourself that you had a good time. So I'm just kidding, guys. That's probably what I'm going to be doing anyway. But I hope you enjoyed. I really got a kick out of using the cards. That's fun. I might do that again. I might do that again in another way for next week's reading. But I hope you enjoyed. I am doing a special Valentine's Day reading on Friday. So if you get a chance, go ahead and check that out. It'll be posted first thing on Friday morning, and it will be a love reading, which I do every once in a while. Also, if you like the content of my channel, I would be very honored if you'd like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if there are certain reads that you'd like to see, please feel free to comment or post on my channel. Let me know if there's something that you would like me to read about. And also, if you'd like to join me again on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing the How to Tarot post, and we got another really good, wonderful, sunny card. We're going to be talking about the sun. So I hope you can join me then, and I'll see you later. Bye.